Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of RV Business Capitol Talk, sponsored by RXL. I'm Rick Kessler, and with me, Sherman Goldenberg, and joining the two of us, Dave Kelly, Executive Director of the Florida RV Trade Association and the Director of the Florida RV SuperShow, which is coming up in just a few short weeks. Dave, I imagine at this time it's just the final details, but how you doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well. Christmas is always an interesting time of year for us. It's always a very, very busy, hectic time anyway. But on top of it, with the Super Show a few weeks out, we got a lot of things going right now.
What's your dates on that?
The 16th of January is our industry day, which is Tuesday, and then we open to the public for 5 days, the 17th through the 21st.
The top show in America, right? I'm not exaggerating in terms of attendance, etc.
It really is. It's just gotten to be so well known. I mean, and the campgrounds are full this time of year, so it's just a natural for the show to be here that time of year.
One more question, Rick.
Yeah.
You start out on a trade day, you always have, and then the real weight of the show being the consumer.
Yes, definitely.
Dave, give us if you could anyway, a nice overview. It's at the Florida State Fairgrounds, a sprawling complex, if ever there was one. But the manufacturers, the units, the dealers, the entertainment, the seminars. I mean, give us an overview if you could.
Yeah, I mean, this is the 37th year or 39th, my 37th year of putting the show on, the 39th year of the show. Next year we celebrate 40 years. So it's just gotten to be so well known. We're at the fairgrounds in Tampa, and as you say, it's an enormous facility until you start putting RVs on it, and then it gets small and crowded very quickly. We opened up some new space this year to accommodate some more manufacturers, and we still ended up with a half dozen or so smaller guys that weren't able to get space. We just don't have the room.
Dave, what do you figure the square footage rough?
Geez, of exhibit space,
Total space of the show.
Total space. It's
Yeah.
hard to say. I mean, we have over 400 booth exhibits, over 1 million, 2 million square feet of display space. It'd be hard to put a number on. I know we end up with over 1,300 RVs on display for the show, with another 600, 700 in our rally field. So, like I said, it's a sprawling complex until we start moving product onto it. But we try to grow every year as best we can, but there's only so much space that's available. So we're fortunate to have the support, and we appreciate the support of the industry, the manufacturers. Of course, it's a manufacturer show, so they pick the spaces, they assign the dealers to work their displays. And we can't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just say we just can't thank them enough for their support for 39 years of the show.
37 years you've been involved with it?
This will be my 37th Super Show of the 39. Yeah, I started almost 36 years ago to the date in December.
Amazing.
Yeah, and Lisa, who is retiring this year, this will be her final show, her 37th show also.
Oh,
so
that's good. Good for her. Congratulations.
It really is. She is the glue that holds this whole thing together. She has done such a great job building this show over the years, and Patty is going to be taking her place, which a lot of people know who she is, and she'll be getting to know everyone this year. But we're really going to miss Lisa's experience and the way she's been able to handle things over the years. But
well, Dave,
like I said, we do. Go ahead, Rick.
Well, this kind of begs the question. The unsung heroes of the show is your army of volunteers, your army of staff. Gosh, when does work begin?
As soon as we close,
right?
We close the show, really. No, you're right. We have board members that volunteer. We have people that take time off of work to come help us with the show, and their help is invaluable. Really, the experience, it's hard to bring somebody in and have them join our team when they've never done the show or not even familiar with it. So to have this continuity, Lance Wilson, our executive director, for the last 27 years, is going to help us out again this year, and we're so lucky to have him on the grounds and helping us out. And Lynn Hart, of course, that helps us out every year. He's a board member. And you're right, the volunteer members, of course, the paid staff just does an incredible job with it, but it takes an army to put this thing together. I mean, it's so spread out that we need those volunteers and we need those people on our staff, and we're very fortunate to have them.
Dave, on the brink of the show, and you look around at the North American recreation vehicle market, it's certainly not a record year in terms of sales and general performance of the industry. Yet most of what we're picking up about the Tampa show is pretty thumbs up.
You know, we did have a smaller, we call them regional shows in November. We had a show at the fairgrounds with local dealers and had a tremendous turnout. We were up over last year, over 500 people over last year. So I think, Sherman, while the industry is a little soft and sales may not be there, the interest that was generated from 2020 is still there. We're seeing it in our regional shows. We had another show in October in Jacksonville that had excellent attendance. So, you know, the sales may not follow, but we're anticipating, you know, really strong crowds again this year because the interest just doesn't seem like it's slowed down at all.
A good signal for the industry.
Yeah, I think so. And it's really not a picture of just Florida or the Southeast, because we have so many people that winter down here that it's really kind of a picture of the East Coast of the United States when you look at the market, because we figured, you know, somewhere between 40 and 45% of the people that come don't live in Florida. They're down here wintering and they mark it on their calendars to come to the show every year. So it's really a good barometer, I think, of the whole East Coast of the U.S. And, you know, we always kind of look at how Hershey does, and they were off a little bit, but you know, we're you know, nothing that we've seen so far is saying, you know, that we're going to have any kind of major downturn as far as attendance.
So Dave, why really silly question, but why is the Tampa show, why is the Florida RV SuperShow so popular?
You know, I think it's just a combination, Rick, of right place at the right time. You know, someone had the foresight, you know, before I was here to say, let's do something for the RV industry in the state of Florida in January. And it's you can't get a campsite from Pensacola to the Keys right now. I mean, everything is filled. I think the continuity of having the show in the same location at the same time of year has a lot to do with it as well. You know, and it's a fun event. I mean, it's not just a parking lot full of RVs. We really try to create an event. You mentioned the entertainment, and the crazier, the wilder the entertainment. You know, I love to find these things like the plant guy or the little couple with the armadillo that pulls their little covered wagon around the show, or the magicians, or the jugglers, or the unicyclists, or the bagpipe band that comes through the show and wakes everyone up at 2:00 in the afternoon. And it's a fun industry, as you guys know. I mean, that's why people are coming to it, is to enjoy themselves, and we try to reflect that in our show.
The parade I'm thinking of, what day is that usually?
We do it every afternoon. Every afternoon, Sherman.
Oh.
We have all of our crazy entertainers line up, and we parade through the show, and they throw beads and you know, just kind of get everyone excited. So if you hadn't seen someone during the course of the day, you just watch the parade and they'll come by you. So and then you mentioned the seminars too, Rick. I mean, so many people are just getting into RVing, and everything changes so quickly with the you know, the electronics, you know, everything is new. So I think that lends to why people like coming to the show too, is that there's so much to see and learn, and it's almost impossible to do it all in one day.
Well, Dave, that's actually a good point, because when I was listening to your interview with Mike Weinland on his RV Lifestyle podcast, something I didn't realize, you give an extra day attendance for free with their tickets. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a $15 admission, but you get a second day admission for free. So you come on Wednesday, come back on Friday, Saturday, over the weekend. We have discounts on online. We have three. We used to do a senior day on the first day, and it used to be so crowded that we now do 3 senior days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, seniors save $2. So for $13, you come in and you can come back, any other day of the show. And we find in some cases they share their ticket with their neighbor or their family who may not have gone, but here's a free ticket to come. So and there's, if you're shopping, if you're a serious shopper, it's going to take you probably at least 2 days to look at everything that's out there, because it's really just about every single product in the industry is on display out at that show.
I've walked that show many a times and talked to many consumers, and almost 9 out of 10 will tell me they are there to buy. They're from wherever, somewhere outside of Florida, and they come to that show specifically because they can do comparison shopping like no other place.
Well, and also we have so many of the northern residents that come down here that they want a dealership down here. This is where they're using their RV. This is when they're traveling. They go back home to Michigan or New York, and they put the thing in storage until the next snowfall. So they like having that contact of the dealership, here in Florida is when they're, using their coach the most.
One other thing, Dave, and this is something I wanted to ask you. Do you offer, what kind of advice or tips for the consumer, for the show attendee? Obviously, you just mentioned they've got to come probably more than one day if they want to see what they want to see. But what else?
I think planning ahead is the most important thing. You as a marketer, you say it's a huge show, it's gigantic, but I don't think people understand what that really means. It means we are from one end of that fairgrounds to the other. So the first thing I would say is bring comfortable walking shoes. If you need help, we have wheelchairs, and we have manual and electric wheelchair rentals at the gates. So those are available. Plan out what you want to see. If there's a specific class of RV that you want to look at, because they're not grouped by category, they're spread out by manufacturer. So if you're looking for class A's or class B's or B vans, make sure you kind of map out where you want to go and what you really want to see. Of course, you want to look at other things as well, but if you're, like I said, a serious buyer, and our interactive map, which will be going active here in the next few days, it really makes it easy to do that, because you can click on a category and it'll light up the map as to where all of those products are. So that map really helps out, and we'll encourage everyone to download it and use it while they're out there. But you can pre-plan it, so you can even map out, kind of where you want to make sure you go while you're out there.
And I'm assuming that's where they can go to get the seminar lineup as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we mentioned the seminars. There's so much stuff that's coming on. The lithium batteries is a huge thing. People have so many questions about that. Solar power. How do I go off grid? How do I get out there and really experience nature? And what are the things I need to know about doing things like that? So the seminars are so well attended, and they really appreciate that we go the extra mile to have that. And that list is also online and available to and again, plan, if there's a certain seminar you want to watch, you want to make sure you plan your day around seeing that.
Can I suggest one other entertainment option for you? If anyone has spent any time inside any of those 2 vendor buildings and watched people try to navigate up and down the aisles on especially the opening day, maybe some jousting with the people in the strollers, the dogs in the front baskets, right? That would be, I would pay money to watch that.
That's funny. We are a very dog friendly show, and because people travel with their pet, that's one of the reasons why people like to travel in RVs, is they do bring their pets, and they are family. I mean, you tell them not to bring them, it's like telling them to leave their kids outside. So we're very pet friendly show, but You know, it's like we said before, it's just a fun industry, and there's so much going on that's new and different, and people that maybe haven't seen an RV in a couple of years, really need to come out and see what's happening in the electric vehicles. Usually we have some prototypes of different vehicles on display. So yeah, I mean, we try to have everything there because we don't want someone to say, well, I want to go shop XYZ that's not at the show. That's why we really like to try to have everything on the grounds in one place.
One last thing to ask you about, from me anyway. Sorry, Sherman, excuse me. You've also, besides being pet friendly, I would also say you've become influencer friendly. And I know, go ahead and speak about that, but you've got quite a few of them coming down again.
It's funny. We started years ago. We saw the influencers, and we were getting a lot of people asking about coming to the show. And I think the first year we opened it up to the influencers, we had maybe 15 or 20 sign up. I think this year we have over 100.
Oh my
that have
goodness.
signed up, and the following, really, Rick and Sherman, what's amazing is the following these people have. In some cases, hundreds of thousands of people follow their trips. They read about their experiences, and for us, it's one thing to put out ads that say, oh, it's the biggest, it's the best, it's wonderful, you got to come down to Tampa and see the show. But to hear it from people that are travelers, to hear it from these people that go to other shows, that go around to events around the country, when they tell people, hey, this is something you want to make sure you mark your calendars for, it means a lot to people. And then we've started doing a little meet and greet area where these influencers can say, hey, we're going to be at the Tampa show. Instead of trying to hunt us down somewhere on the grounds, at 2:00 on Thursday, we'll be in the meet and greet building, and come by and get your pictures taken, and ask your questions. And it's really amazing the following that the people have, and we love to accommodate them.
Very good. I interrupted you, Sherm. Did you have something?
No, nothing of note. No.
Just was mentioned, you mentioned the booths. I mean, parts and accessories are a huge thing, a huge part of the industry. And between the two booth buildings that are full of different things, we have General RV now does a gigantic, I mean, this parts department, their parts store rivals, I think, any parts department you'll find in a dealership, and they put it together just for the Super Show. So anyone that's looking for that hard to find part, light bulb, connector, widget, whatever it is, if it's not on that grounds during those 5 days, I would be shocked, because we have just about everything on display out there.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Sherm?
I was just going to say we probably ought to let Dave off the hook here.
Yeah, it's time to get to work, right, Dave?
Well, we got a few things to catch up on, but
Dave, thank you so much. Awesome always talking to you. Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks here. See if you can get Mother Nature to cooperate. That's always the big X factor.
Yeah, we'll try to warm it up for everyone.
Dave, thanks again.
All right.
Thank
you
you
guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.